I am live, apparently. Hola, buenas tardes, ¿cómo estás? One person has joined. Hello, awesome. That one person, can you hear me? Can you see me okay? Because once again, I'm doing this on my phone, so I don't know if it's working. Awesome. So say hello in the chat, whoever that is. Two people, hello, second person. My um, my phone is balancing on the top of a box of tortillas at the moment. So, hello everyone that's joining. I can hear. Hello, Mr. G. Awesome. Recent commenter. I've just replied to your message. Hello, Solar Smile. Awesome. Um, yes, everyone is joining. Tell me where you're from, if I don't know already. Hopefully, some more people join. We had a good one last week. Hang on a minute. I'm a bit early because I wanted to make sure that this was working. Yes. So, what are you up to today, Mr. G and Solar Smile? Are you from Mexico City? I think you are, aren't you? I can't remember. Lovely. I've just got a notification. What is that? Hang on a minute. Oh, that's me. Yes, I am live. So that means that everyone must have a notification now. Excellent. Good, good. Lovely jubbly. So, yeah. Today is Saturday in Mexico City. Awesome. What's everyone up to today? Ah, Jalisco. Am I saying that right? Yeah? Not Jalisco. Yes. Oh, yes, you're from there, but you're living in Chicago. Amazing. How's Chicago today? Have I been to Chicago? I've been to the airport. That's it. I think I was on my way to Guatemala. Jalisco, yes. My Mexican pronunciation is getting better. It's improving. Hola, Isra. Buenas tardes. ¿Cómo estás? Lovely. What are you up to today? Sunny and nice. Awesome. As you can see behind me, it is also sunny and nice in CDMX today. I have got a bit of noise in the background. My housemate is playing music. And as usual, if you've seen my Instagram, there's loads of noise outside. Anyone from Mexico City will know what I'm talking about. The rubbish collecting people with the megaphone, people selling water at 7 o'clock in the morning, agua, etc. Animals, animals, you are here. You've finally caught me. Amazing. And which is good because I'm going to talk about the points that you mentioned in the video I did the other day. So, lovely. Yes. 9 people joining. This is wonderful. Excellent. So yeah, Animals Animals is from Prague. I'm just going backwards through the thing. Lovely. Where's everyone else from? What are you up to today? What are you doing with your weekend? With your Saturday? I am not doing much. Other than this, I've done 4 English lessons today. Lovely. Yes, I am Solar Smile. Let's get on to that actually. So travel fears. So I did I said in the video I did the other day at the museum Soy Maya. Sorry, that I was going to talk about travel fears because I think lately, obviously the Mexico videos have done a lot better than a lot of other videos I've done, so it's kind of taken over. But I want to get back to kind of general travel stuff. So I have had a couple of questions, kind of thing, or experiences about travel fears. So if those of you watching, write in the comments what are your fears of travel. What makes you reluctant to travel to places? Is it about getting around? Is it about stories that you hear about places before you get there? Stereotypes, which is very appropriate because I'm talking about Mexico City, as I've said in other videos. Hello, Cynthia. Patron of the day is here. Thank you for joining, Cynthia. How's Texas today? So, on to the first one. This is from Animals Animals, actually. How organised am I? I've got my laptop next to me and everything. So, the first thing is running out of money. Animals, animals. You mentioned about running out of money, and I'm going to tell you something on my face. I'm going to tell you about something which I've never said before on any video. The lowest amount of money that I ever got to in the last 18 months of doing this was, wait for it, £8. £8 English. That's all I had in my bank. It was about the end of January in Hiroshima. And the thing was, I could have had a meltdown. I could have had a heart attack. But actually I knew I had money coming in. And that's the difference between working when you travel like I do and I was going to say just traveling. It's not just traveling, but you know, traveling in general. I think if I didn't have money coming in, I would have had a complete mental breakdown. But luckily, I didn't. Times that I've run out of money were in Gili Trawangan, Indonesia last year, but that was more around the fact that I had no bank card because I had bank fraud. So basically, I had to ask the owner of the hostel for my key deposit back to buy food that night, and I had to leave the next day because I literally had no money left. Yes. One second. Do you already know Holy Faith? What is that, Isra? What do you mean by that? Holy Faith. I'm not religious, by the way, even though I do a lot of videos in churches. So those of you watching, have you run out of money when you have been travelling? Tell me in the comments. Yeah, I know some people that have, and they've had to actually go back home. They've had to contact their parents. I have had to call my mum a couple of times in emergencies, mainly due to bank card issues. I have had bank fraud. I have had my bank card pickpocketed in Malaysia in December last year. Yeah, so running out of money. Lovely. Right, Cynthia, as always, is joining in. Fears of being pickpocketed or passport stolen and having no resources like an embassy. Yes! Luckily, I've never had that problem in terms of an embassy. I've never had to go to an embassy. I've never lost my passport. People say that you should have a photocopy of a passport. I never have. It's probably a bad thing. But yeah, pickpocketed. So I was pickpocketed in Rio, Brazil, during Carnival on my 30th birthday, 6 years ago. I had my camera stolen, but it was my own fault. I was drunk. I went down a street where it was packed. I couldn't move, and it's no surprise that I was pickpocketed, but it was a crap camera, so I wasn't really bothered. OMG, MJG. Yes, if anyone else is joining, tell me where you're from in the chat, etc. Just so I know who you are. Yeah, that was the first time in Malaysia in... no way! MJG, Rio, 2012, yeah? For your 30th. Amazing. And you're a new subscriber. Thank you for subscribing. I'll come back to that in a second. What was I saying? And we're the same age. Are we the same person? Amazing. Where are you from? MJG. What's your name? And the second time was in Malaysia. So those of you that are older subscribers before Mexico will know that I had a bit of a drama in Malaysia, in Kuala Lumpur, just before Christmas. Basically, I got on a bus with a friend of mine, and what happened? Basically, it was a bus. We were a bit drunk, and I had my wallet in my back pocket, stupidly, because we were running for the bus, and I was smoking at the same time, and got on the bus, sat down, and my wallet was gone. I ran off the bus like a madman. It was obviously gone, because I thought I'd left it at the bus stop. And as a result, I have this here. This is Tiddles. This is my new wallet that I bought in Hiroshima. You may remember if you watched one of the Hiroshima videos, I think it was the Day in the Life one where I showed you this. This is my wallet, basically. I currently have 100 pesos. I need to go to ATM. Urgent. So, yeah, that's my two experiences of being pickpocketed. It can be horrific. You know, like that time in Malaysia, I felt violated, you know. Probably not the time in Rio, but in Malaysia, it really dampened my experience of Kuala Lumpur. Yeah. I think we have a tip here about whatchamacallit. Split your money on several cards. Yes, brilliant. Take photos of your passport, upload to Dropbox. Brilliant idea. I've actually just started using Dropbox for all my footage. Yeah, it's brilliant. And I paid for the extra storage. Yeah, I can't split my money between different cards because due to the fact that I was awful with money when I was in the UK, I didn't, no one will give me a bank card, so I only have one. Okay, let's go back to the comments. Has anyone else got any awful pickpocketing experiences? That would be interesting to hear. Hello, Devon. From Los Angeles, LA, awesome. I was in LA last year in about June. It was after I went storm chasing. There's a couple of videos, no, there's just one actually, what I'm talking about, that I did when I was in Hollywood. I stayed in Hollywood. Not the nicest area, I'm sure you will agree. Rio back in February 2012 for my 30th birthday. That's exactly when I was there. I stayed in a hostel in Ipanema, Rio Hostel. That was the actual name of it. And I was originally in Rio in 2009. I did 6 weeks around South America, a very quick trip, which is one reason why I'm going back to Colombia. Well, I didn't go to Colombia in the first place, but I'm going there. Can't speak today. Um, yes, that is amazing. We were in the same place at the same time. Awesome. I don't really remember much because I think I was drinking alcohol for the whole week. Um, yeah, Lapa. Remember Lapa? Democratica is a great club in Lapa in Rio. Um, what do you think? Should I go back to Brazil? I mentioned it on the live stream last week. I was in Brazil both times before I did YouTube, so I would really love maybe not to go back to Rio or Sao Paulo, somewhere else like Recife, maybe up the northeast, because I've got a lot of English students in Sao Paulo, and they keep telling me to come back to Brazil. But I'm not sure because the flights out of Brazil, pretty much anywhere, are quite expensive. So I don't know. Um, that is awesome, Devon. You've made my day. Someone else that experienced the madness of Rio Carnival, 2012. Amazing. Um, cute cat wallet. Yeah, her name is Tiddles. Actually, it's a him, a male cat. Um, a year in Japan. Awesome. Where did you spend in Japan? Obviously, I'm assuming you went to a lot of places in a year. I was only there for 5 months over the course of 3 trips. What's your favourite place in Japan? My favourite place is it's got to be Hiroshima because I spent so long there. That's like my second home. Of course, Mexico City is now my home. Okay, animals. What is your real name, animals? I can't keep calling you animals. I'm sure you told me before, but I can't remember. Okay, HKF1, hello, welcome Alan. I remember your name. You're not too late. We're here for a while. And even Cynthia remembers you. Cynthia's amazing. Got off the metro at the crappy... Oh, bloody hell, the message is gone. Got off the metro at the crappy bus station, tipsy, had to figure out how to get home from there in a pencil skirt. I have that problem all the time. Tiny little steps a long way. Thank God for sensible check flats. Indeed. Animals. Did I tell you about my friend Tara and Sylvia? I mentioned them last week. Office no thanks. Tara is... Actually, she's just moved to Prague. Meet up with her. She's awesome. She does YouTube. Office no thanks. Okay. I'd love to go back to Brazil. I'm obsessed with Europe, so I haven't been to Rio since 2012. Yeah, I'll meet you in Brazil. Let's go for Carnival again. Sounds like a plan. We can do a collab. Awesome. Europe, brilliant. What's your favourite place in Europe? Let's have a travel convo about Europe. I did some videos last year in Italy. Where else? That was it. Oh, London and Ukraine and Moldova. Not really Europe, but you know. Hi, Luis, sorry. Try and say your name right. Have I ever been pickpocketed in the UK? I probably have. I think it's... it's what I've said about Mexico is when people think that it's all about pickpocketing and everything. 16 people now, amazing. What was I going to say? UK is exactly the same. There's equal amount of risk of being pickpocketed in the UK, especially on the tube. Again, you just have to use your noddle, use your brain. Don't put yourself in any positions that you could potentially be pickpocketed. I've had loads of things stolen in London. I can't remember any off the top of my head, but it happens. I've lost bank cards, etc. Okay, Copa Fun Hostel in Rio. Awesome. Hostels were expensive. Yeah, they were horrendously. Slept at the airport. Amazing. There's a place in Rio which I absolutely love. Botafogo. I could probably be saying it wrong. There's an amazing restaurant there, E-Pax. I don't know if it's still there because it was like 10 years ago I went there. Who knows? Zetez Maxim, legend, best commenter on the world, on the globe, apart from Cynthia, of course. Okay, yay. How do I find Tara in Prague? Office No Thanks. Look her up on YouTube. Yes, lovely. And just message her. I'll send her a message as well. Tell her that she's been featured on this live stream. Awesome. They haven't done any videos for a while because they've been busy working and moving, things like that. Oh, your phone keeps buffering. It's fine this end. This is actually the best connection I've ever had. Okay, I'm catching up with comments and then we'll get back into the actual travel fears. So if you have just joined, we're talking about travel fears, concerns, things that make you reluctant to visit somewhere, either about a specific destination or travel in general. Let's just talk about travel. Amazing. I lived in Fukuoka. Lovely, I've been there. I didn't do a video there. It's a funny story why I went there. I'll tell you in a second. But I travelled within the country as often as I could. Nagasaki, Kumamoto, Kyoto, Nara, Tokyo, Yokohama. Oh, amazing. You've been all over the place. I miss Japan too. I really want to go back to Japan, even though I couldn't live there for a long time. You know, what's your thoughts, Solar Smile, on living there for a long time? Because I think it's very different from going there for a holiday. Yes. So Fukuoka, I'm going off topic now, but the reason I was in Fukuoka was because of the bank card issue and I had to use Western Union and I couldn't afford to get to Hiroshima from Kumamoto. So I had to go to Fukuoka and use Western Union because that was the only one there. Martin, hello from Brighton. Awesome. We've got someone from the UK. Brilliant. How is the UK today? Well, this evening. It's what, 9 o'clock in the UK, is it? Oh, thank you for the super chat. I can't remember how to check how I don't know who's giving me the super chat because I can't see. Let's scroll. Oh, it's Cynthia again. Cynthia, you're awesome. I always learn a lot from your videos. Keep up the great work. Appreciate. Yeah. Thank you, Cynthia. I appreciate you too. Very much. It's bloody hot in Brighton. You're having a laugh, mate. What are you on about? Jesus Christ. See, when I start talking to someone in the UK, I'll start talking like I'm from London again. Hope any Mexicans can understand my London accent. I'll get back to speaking with my teaching voice now. Yes. Oh, it's your connection. Yes. To be honest, this, like I said, this is the best connection I've ever had since I've been teaching English. No problems at all since I've been here. Yeah. And by the way, if anyone has, we could talk about this after, but anyone has any questions about the side of my channel where I'm working, you know, teaching English, digital nomad life, that kind of thing, feel free to ask any questions, etc. Okay, Devon, I was pickpocketed at a hostel in Berlin. Okay, strange enough, my hostel room door wouldn't lock and another hostel guest clipped locks and stole... Oh, shit. Pardon my French. Don't get demonetized, YouTube. And, oh, bollocks, that's a nightmare. I stayed in a guest house in Berlin. I didn't have an issue there at all. I'm actually thinking of, if those of you might remember from a little while ago, I think I mentioned it on Instagram, I'm thinking of moving to Germany eventually, long term. Yes. Who knows? Okay. Oh, that's good. 3-week accommodation. Brilliant. Gaspar, Mexico is better than the United States. Are there any Americans on here? Cynthia. Of course there's Cynthia on here. I'm not going to comment. I don't want to be controversial. America has its benefits, I think. To be honest, I do prefer Mexico to USA, I think. Probably because I haven't been to a lot of America, apart from when I was storm chasing, really. Yes, ha, Cynthia. Very funny. Texas, of course, is amazing, especially Abilene and the Super 8 hotel I stayed in with the dead body outside. That was great fun. Probably a dead body, I don't know. There was definitely blood stains on the carpet, that's for sure. Yeah, my London accent is not that bad. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, Manchester or Scotland, don't get me started. Manchester's alright for me. Liverpool and Newcastle, no chance, especially if they use a lot of slang. I talk about this a lot in my English lessons about slang and idioms and phrases, expressions. And so generally with YouTube, with YouTube, and like now I'm talking a bit more correctly, pronouncing things better. Sorry, there's one slip through there. Better. Cockney, you know. How's it going, mate? So back to England. Yeah, Martin, what's happening in the UK at the moment? What are the dramas? What and for everyone else, why would you recommend Brighton as somewhere to go? Because I love Brighton. I haven't been there for years. It was actually a place I went to just before I left the UK, almost 18 months ago, which is coming up, by the way. 18-month celebration. Hopefully we can reach 5,000 subscribers by that date. It'll be the 21st of May, all right? That'll be 18 months. Okay, let's catch up. Yes. Actually, before we catch up, let's talk about another thing about travel fears. And this is again from Animals. Thank you very much. This is about female-only dorms. And as I said to Animals in the comment, I have quite controversial views on this. So, in many countries, many hostels will have female-only dorms for various reasons, namely things like safety. Unfortunately, in a lot of countries, there is a tendency for men to act inappropriately towards women. So I can understand that thing. If I was a woman, I'd probably want to feel safe. But another reason as well, which I had this conversation with someone a while before, is especially with people of certain faiths, they're simply not allowed to sleep in the same room as a male that isn't a member of their family, which again is a perfectly understandable reason. But the thing for me I found so frustrating in countries like Japan, in China and Korea was that yes, many places did female-only dorms, but they were cheaper. And I couldn't understand why I have to pay more just because I have a penis. Yes, I have a penis, everyone. So it was something that really got my goat. There's an idiom. I said that a lot, which really annoys me. So what's your opinions on female-only dorms? And in addition, what are your feelings about female-only train cars on trains? Because, you know, I've been quite vocal about that. I think why should a female have her only train car for herself when all the men have to get crammed into a busy carriage where they'll get pickpocketed. I've been touched up on a train by a man. You know, equality. You know, I'm being controversial now, but you know, it's just one of those things, I suppose. You have to look around, I suppose, for someone that meets your budget. And yes, people say in Japan, you know, there are male-only capsule hotels, but I've never seen any. You know, everyone I try and book is always mixed capsule hotel or female-only. So yeah, what's your opinions on that? Am I being out of order by saying females should not have female-only dorms? Okay, let's go back. My voice is going. I better not cancel any more English lessons because my voice is going. Okay. Oh, so you're originally from Germany, Solar Smart. I'm catching up with comments now. Yes. So I'm thinking of moving to Leipzig because I'd love to live in Berlin, but the reality is it's too expensive for me at the moment. Unless I get, you know, 5 million subscribers, no, I'll be fine. But Leipzig, I think, is a bit cheaper. It's a bit more hip. At least that's what I've researched anyway. So tell me if that is the case. Yeah, many Mexicans here, Devon. It's great how I've said this in a video the other day about the fact that the Mexican viewers and subscribers have been the best I've ever had. Just like Lewis Hamilton, the Formula 1 driver, says, best fans. I know what he means, because it's just been awesome. The amount of comments, suggestions, it's insane because I have a massive long list of things I want to do. There's 21 people in this now. Awesome. This is the best one ever. If you're new, if you've just joined, write in the comments. I am catching up. Say hello, where you're from, that sort of thing. We're talking about travel fears. Tell me the things that make you scared about travelling to a new country. Yes, what was I saying? Leipzig. If anyone can remember what I was saying, tell me. That would be great. That's it. Mexican subscribers. And I've said this before in videos. continue. You know, share videos, that would be great. Share with your friends. I am doing my best to put Spanish translation onto videos, but it is the auto translated one that YouTube does, so it might not be accurate. Obviously, I don't speak Spanish. But you can actually, there is a thing on YouTube, if you didn't know, that you can contribute to videos, so you can correct translations, things like that, if you want. Okay, I've really got to catch up with these comments. Santa Fe Gaspar, yes, probably out of all of the recommendations on my videos, Santa Fe is the top one. Someone told me earlier about how to get there, because obviously there's no subway station there. I don't like to get Ubers very much, but I might just get a bus. That's definitely on my list before I go. In Hiroshima, some people made out in my dorm room. Yes, in Japan, they were Americans. Since then, I always tried to book only... Okay, gotcha. So I had a problem with that in Melbourne, Australia. I think I'm... So if you go back on my channel, back to about December, when I was in Yogyakarta, Indonesia, I did a video about sex in hostels, which was... it was quite honest. And there was someone in Melbourne that did have sex right next to me in the next bed for about 4 hours, and it was diabolical. So yeah, that's a good point. That's another reason why I guess female dorms would be appropriate. But you know, again, why shouldn't there be a male dorm in that case with me? I would love to have been in a male dorm where there wasn't sex happening, but I think that's an Australia thing. Anyone who's been to Australia will know what hostels are like there. Taylor, greetings, hello. Absolutely, travelling in Mexico is dirt cheap compared to Japan. But then, you know, Solar Smile will probably agree with me when I say about bus travel in Japan is an awesome alternative to the Shinkansen. And it's cheap, well, 3,800, 4,000 yen. I can't remember what that is in dollars. It's been ages since I've been in Japan. Okay. Awesome. Spooder Steve, Mexicans like to see other people enjoy their country and culture. Yes, that is, I agree with you, definitely. And it goes back to what I was saying about stereotypes about Mexico. People, the amount of people that have said to me, "Oh, I thought it was slums or you know poverty and people being murdered all the time." No, Mexico City is just I see it just as developed as many cities in the world. Yes, obviously there's issues like that, but there is in every country. I've had sex many times in hostels. Not me, Devon. Actually, I have. I'm being honest. We're honesty as always, brutal honesty. I have had sex in hostels. I won't go into detail. Yes, 4 hours. I'm impressed. 4 hours what? What is 4 hours? I think I watched your sex in hostels video. Yeah, it was classic. Oh yeah, private room. Yeah, I wouldn't do it in a dorm room. I haven't done it in a dorm room. I've done it in a private room. Why are we talking about sex? This is getting inappropriate. But I am inappropriate. Who cares? Okay, yeah. Tell me your stories in private. Awesome. Yes, it is a cultural thing, and that's the thing with Japan. Female dorms we're talking about. Yeah, especially in Japan, it surprises me that there is an element of sexism in Japan, and Japanese men's attitude towards sex, especially because you know Japanese people are, I guess, on the whole, quite shy and introverted, but actually they have a dark side, I think. Yeah. Oh, okay, 4 hours having sex. Yes. Indeed. It was about 4 hours, but it was almost like porn star sex. You know, the woman wasn't being quiet about it. She was having the time of her life. He was obviously pretty good with his, you know, wink wink. Okay. Can you have sex in hostels? I'm pausing. I'm thinking, no, you're not meant to, but people do. You know, sometimes you might be in a position where you're the only one in a hostel room. Like one time when I was somewhere in Indonesia, I can't remember where it was. Bandung, maybe? Yeah, I was literally the only person in the hostel with some other guy. Nothing happened. He wanted it to, but it didn't. Yes. Female schools in Mexico. Okay, you mean like a girls' school? Yeah, they're common in the UK. Probably not as much these days. By the way, does everyone like my t-shirt? Boss mode. This is in the video from Teotihuacan, which, if you've seen my latest one from Polanco, you'll see a little trailer at the end with some dramatic music. And yes, I know that music is Italian opera and not Mexican, but I just liked it, so I put it in there. It was actually it's connected to Japan because it was what's his name, Yuzuru Hanyu, the gold medalist ice figure skater from Sendai, did a dancing thing, ice skating thing to that piece, and I love it. And I do like classical music. I used to play the clarinet. Yes, awesome. So before I just go on to what am I doing? But the next travel fear. It's not really a fear, but anyway. Are there any ideas for videos? So you might not have seen, if you're new to this channel, that I don't just do travel videos. I do videos where I sit down and talk to a camera like this about travel advice or travel anything, being a digital nomad, working abroad, things like that. I've got loads of videos that I want to do. Like there's one second time travel destinations, things I don't miss about Asia. You know, these 10 things kind of videos. So are there any ideas people have, anything that you want to see? Things like that. And I think we've covered travel stuff. I've got a massive long list. I'm only in Mexico City for another couple of weeks, so I can't do everything. But I'm probably going to come back once I've been to Colombia. So I'm imagining about August, September, I'll probably be back in Mexico. But we'll see. Okay, so I'll just catch up with the last comment, then I'll go on to the next one. We're half an hour already, oh my god. Renters do only male or female dorms because couples, yes, I see what you mean. Yeah, but then you could have a gay couple, lesbian couple, they'll still be having sex. I think that's one benefit us gay people do have, that often you can get around that sort of thing. Yeah, Cynthia, I love a bit of opera, I love a bit of classical. That's why in my original Japanese videos I did classical music. Matthew Tasker, hello, welcome. The legend is here. I'll come back to you in a second. Yeah, so I really like using classical and opera music, especially if it's something dramatic. You know, when was it? The Pripyat video, Chernobyl. Was it? I can't remember what music I did in that, but it was different music anyway. And I'm going up a volcano on Tuesday, so most likely there will be probably more classical music. Okay, Matthew Tasker, caught this before crashing off for the night. Yes, it's 10:30 p.m. in Europe, in the south of France. Awesome. I did say this last time, but check out Matthew Tasker's channel. He just did an awesome video. I'm jealous of the editing. There's the time lapses are off the scale. Motion time lapse. Sorry, the thing is moving. It's on a box of tortillas, as you do. As a European looking foreigner, you're not affected by Japan's dark sides. Yes, indeed. I think Japanese people were slightly more negative towards Americans when I was there. That's just my opinion. It might have something to do with the whole history thing. I don't know, but I did find some that had a bit of an attitude, which is interesting. Yes. Okay, hang on a minute. 1 second, 1 second. Okay, I'm getting lost with comments here. Okay. Yes, Alan, catch up with videos. This week's been Koyakan, which no one's watching, funnily enough, compared to Palanco and the one I did the other day at the museum. They've just gone insane. And the Chapultepec Park one is by far the most successful video I've ever had. It's got no dislikes. Amazing. Okay, Luis, San Cristobal de las Casas in Chiapas. Okay. Yeah, so I think I might have said last time where I'm going next. So let's just cover that. So May the 19th, I leave here. I'm going to Puebla, Oaxaca, Palenque. Then I'm probably just going to go to Merida, go to Chichen Itza, and across to Tulum, Cancun. It's going to be a very quick few weeks, so I'm not sure how many videos I'm going to be able to. It won't be as much as I'm doing now, probably, because I'll still be teaching at the same time. Because I have to get my flight on June the 14th to Cuba. Um, it's going to cost me too much to change. So then from Cuba, I'll then be there for a week. I'll go to Colombia then, probably for about 6 weeks, maybe. Bogota, Medellin, Cali, and the place up the top, Cartagena, maybe. And then I'll probably come back to Mexico. Possibly Guadalajara, maybe. I'll probably fly back to Mexico City and then go west. Guadalajara that way. And head to Tijuana and then probably get a flight out of there back to Asia, maybe. I don't know, but like I said, my plans change all the time. So that's another one that I'll add to the list. Anime illustrates Japan dark side. Yes, it does. Absolutely. Some of the anime I saw and manga in some of the shops, like in Nakano Broadway, which is well known in Tokyo for manga and anime. Some of it was slightly dodgy. um, it is very hot in Mexico City right now. Really? I don't feel hot. Then again, I'm inside, so I might go out. I need to go out after this, so I need to get some money. Yes. Why do I want to move to Germany? Just travel or moving? That's an interesting question. So I, partly because I've been doing this now for 18 months, constantly traveling. This year I have settled down a bit. So I was in Hiroshima for 3 months. I've been in Mexico for 2 months almost now, and I'm much happier being in one place for longer because I haven't got the money to be travelling around like I used to. And in terms of teaching, it's like I have a job. So I want to, and ideally I would like to come back to Europe at some point to have a base, because even though Mexico is quite easy in terms of getting by with the language, things like that, it'll be easier in Europe for me. And I studied German for 7 years at school and college. I can still read German, I can still listen to German and understand it mostly, but my speaking German, because I haven't spoken it for 18 years, is diabolical, and I really want to get back. I really want to be at a place where I can be confident with my German again. So that's a big reason why I want to move to Germany. So yeah, mein Deutsch ist nicht fantastisch. Okay. It's not good. My Spanish is probably better right now. It's not. Yes, we must know more about this weekend holiday in Europe than as I am new here. Europe Day, the end of World War Two. I don't know what you're talking about. Amazing. Okay, Tijuana. So I was in Tijuana how many years ago? 13 years ago, but it was literally for 3 hours. I think I mentioned it in the video, but I would like to come back there for longer. So I will watch this space basically, to see what happens where I go. Yeah, use italki to brush up on Deutsch. Yes, that is a good point. To be honest though, I'm really nervous about doing that. Even though I do like 20 odd lessons a week, actually doing the teaching, I feel like if I was to do that with someone in German, I would embarrass myself because I think I would be beginner level. There'll be a lot of pauses. I am kind of practicing sometimes with Google Translate, and I'm actually surprised that I'll say things in German into Google Translate and it'll be right. It'll be correct. So actually, maybe my ability is a bit better than I think it is, but who knows? Okay, everyone's talking. I'm going to come on to the... Actually, I'm going to come on to the... yeah, talk amongst yourselves. I'm going to come on to the next... It's not really a fear. It's... So this was on my Facebook page. By the way, if you haven't joined my Facebook page, do it. So just basically search First World Traveller on Facebook. Thank you to Cynthia for telling me last week that the link that I've had in all of my videos for the last 18 months is wrong, which is why no one joins my Facebook page. I haven't changed it yet, by the way. So just search on Facebook First World Traveller, because I do sort of, there's daily updates, a bit like my Instagram. Instagram stories, I love them. So yeah, lovely. So the next thing, oh come on, you stupid computer. 1 second. Oh, there it is. There we go. So this is on my Facebook pages. It's more someone is going to Mexico for a couple of weeks and they're asking if it. This is from Cal on my Facebook. Is it safe, Mexico City, cultural, and will I have any issues as a Brit keeping my head down? So firstly, the safe thing. Yes, it's safe. If the thing I will say to any person thinking of coming to Mexico City is straight away remove that perception in your. I'm meant to be an English teacher. Remove that perception or view or stereotype in your head that it's going to be unsafe and you're going to be robbed and you're going to be murdered or kidnapped by Uncle Escobar in Colombia. It's not going to happen. All of those. Yes, of course, those things. I was going to say likely, but it's probably not going to happen. But you know what I mean. Every city and country has those issues, and Mexico's no exception. London's no exception. So just have your wits about you. Just like when if I was in London, 2 o'clock in the morning, and I was walking down a dodgy street, where there's people hanging about, groups of young people shooting up, I'm not going to walk down that road, am I? And just like I wouldn't in Mexico, even though I probably have already. There was a nice prostitute I met the other day. Nothing happened. Yes. Cultural, yes, of course. I think anyone from Mexico will agree that Mexico is beyond cultural and has so much to offer. I'm not, even in the time that I've been here, I'm never going to even touch the surface of what Mexico has to offer in terms of culture and history and everything like that. Misconception. Yes, it's misconception, not conception. Perception. Oh, I'm confused now. And I'm not sure what he means by the last bit. Have any issues as a Brit keeping his head down? Why would you need to keep your head down? I said in another video, I think most people don't look at me as a Brit, because someone did, although I don't look like someone that lives in Mexico City or is from Mexico City, Latin American, there are, Mexico is a huge country and it's different, there's different looks, I guess. I think someone mentioned Guadalajara, people are more European looking. Correct me if I'm wrong. But yeah, that was that. So yeah, come to Mexico City, it's brilliant. Right, what's everyone on about? Matthew Tasker, still not solid at the moment, but I'm very seriously looking at... Oh, yes, Cape Town. Brilliant. I think you mentioned that last time. Yes. Who are you asking for thoughts, Matthew? I've lost track of this this bloody live stream. It's so confusing. Plus, doing it on my phone doesn't help. That's why it's wobbling. Yeah, so a 4-day weekend in Czech. So I had a lesson today with someone somewhere in the Czech Republic, I can't remember. He works for Skoda, and he was telling me, this weekend is the weekend off or something. But yeah, in a lot of countries like Russia, they had it this week, like Labour Day, Workers' Day or something. Next week in the UK is a bank holiday. Shush, there's a noise outside. But yeah, obviously in Czech, it's a different name, Europe Day. Okay. Okay, Solar Smile. Okay, do you teach English? Yes, on italki. So I do a lot of videos about italki. You can check them out. And the thing that's great about italki, if people are interested in doing it, you can do any language on italki. So many teaching platforms just do English to Chinese children, but I hate it. Well, I don't like children. Hate is a strong word. So I prefer to teach adults. So there's lots of people on there that teach other languages. So German is brilliant. Yeah, German grammar, don't get me started with that. Nominative, accusative, all the genders, masculine, feminine, neuter, all the endings, the words like mit that change the, mit einem rather than ein, or you know what I mean. See, I know more German than I'm making out. Yes. Do a video, okay, Alan, do a video addressing the misconceptions Top Gear guys had about that one chapter many years ago. I'll have to look that up because I'm not a huge fan of Top Gear. Jeremy Clarkson annoys me, and so do the other two. Yeah, so I'll look that up. Who knows? Okay. Okay, Prince Charles visited Mexico to inaugurate the important event. Okay. So that's one thing I want to ask, actually. Also, there's a lot happening with the royal family at the moment with babies and weddings. What are people's views of the royal family from a Mexican point of view? I'll be interested to know. Oh, okay. So all about having cheese and people being lazy. Cacti. Yeah, everyone seems to think it's just about... I say cactuses. That's wrong, isn't it? Cacti is correct. Yes. Great English, David. Okay. Hi, Carla. Where are you from, Carla? I'm imagining you're from Mexico due to your surname. Awesome. Where are you from in Mexico, if you're from Mexico? Yeah, kids, teaching kids is an absolute nightmare. Not that I've ever done it, but the youngest people I've got are 16. I was actually tricked by their dad. I thought it was their dad that was going to do it. They're from Moscow. Hopefully they're not watching. And it turned out to be them, two twins. And they are a struggle because their English level is really good. So there's not much I can do in terms of helping them or advising or recommending things like that. And when it is younger people, they're just not interested. They haven't got the motivation to do it that adults do, because adults generally doing it for a specific reason, like business English or improving their general conversation, that sort of thing. And does it pay enough to cover your living expenses? Yes. So I did a video on this a while ago. I'm actually going to do another one. I was going to do it this week, but I'll probably do it next week, maybe, about how I can afford to do this and exactly what my earnings are. So a lot of YouTubers aren't very transparent or vocal about their earnings. I don't care. As always, I don't mind. I'll tell you how much I earn. Believe me, it's not that much. But yeah, so yeah, I have teaching, I have YouTube money, I have Patreon. By the way, if you're not a Patreon, go to my Patreon page. You can contribute every month. Sometimes you get videos early. Sometimes you get postcards, although I can never find any postcards anywhere. Yeah, but anyway, yeah, there's Patreon, YouTube, teaching, and I'm owed money by people back in the UK from like 2 years ago when I sold my house, and it's going to be coming back every month. So I guess iTalki is about 50% of my earnings. To be honest with you, YouTube covers my accommodation, just about. So that teaching money is pretty much for future travels, and yeah, and that money that I get from people back home that owe me is my daily living, like food and stuff like that. So I am able to save at the moment, which is awesome. I'm in a much better position. I would love to be able to not teach for a little while, take a couple of months off and just travel for a few months. Maybe in 6 months I'll do that. The issue is that I don't want to lose all my students. That's the problem with online teaching, that you feel like you can't take any time off, because the moment you do, you lose them and you have to start all over again. Yeah. How do you navigate transit if you don't read? Oh yes, that was the other one that you mentioned, animals, in the comments. To be honest, I never have a problem with that, because literally every country I go to, it's in English, even in China and Japan, which with China I was surprised with, actually. So I've never had a problem. But with Mexico, you know, to be honest, because I've been to Guatemala, Belize, and lots of South American countries before, I know the words in terms of train stations like taquilla and what's the thing for notes that begins with B? Cash. And the word for tracks, which I can't say, the one that begins with A. Correspondencia, is that like the changing line, yeah? So it's not difficult. And linea una, it's obvious what that means. So I don't have a problem, to be honest. There's some countries, I think, like Ukraine was a bit of a problem. Kyrgyzstan, don't get me started on Kyrgyzstan. That's gonna that's gonna be in the second time travel destinations. I love Kyrgyzstan. It's one of my favourite countries I've been to, but it's definitely not a first time traveller destination. There's so many things about Kyrgyzstan I could say that I won't go into now. Um, 1 second, can you hear that? That's the annoying noise that goes past every day. Anyone in Mexico City will know this. It's the people that collect the rubbish and the things that people don't want, like mattresses and stuff. So annoying. That's actually that's a negative about Mexico City. So I will be doing a video about negatives or things I hate about Mexico City, which it will, you know, for those of you that are new, you might not know this. I am very sarcastic and I do take the piss. I do joke about these things. It's not meant for any offence. It's purely as a jokey thing, all right? So that's my humour. Okay. To be honest, I can't think of many things to put in the video at the moment, so it might not happen. But yes. Okay, let's go back. As a Brit expat, my views of the royal family is meh. Yeah, so is mine. Yes. Yeah, I'm not a big fan. I don't understand why foreigners are so enthusiastic with the royal family. Obviously, you know, in a lot of countries there isn't a royal family, and probably the UK monarchy is probably the most famous one in the world. So I can understand in terms of that, and obviously they bring a lot of money to the economy in the UK in terms of tourism, but outdated. I don't like the Queen. You know, don't get me started on Princess Diana and everything that happened with her. Um, you know, I won't say anything more about the Queen because I'll probably be arrested for treason. Uh, Never mind. That's a good word. Yes. Okay. Yeah. So Solar Smile with the teaching. There is a video I did that has 10 things that will really help you if you are looking at teaching online. It's about 90 minutes long. So get a bottle of wine, maybe a glass. I'm doing that later, by the way. Okay. How many hours do I teach a day? So it has changed. So when I first started, when I was in Hiroshima, I was doing like 7 hours a day, 5 days a week, plus YouTube on top, plus doing a work away at the same time, which is why, if you look back at those videos, I was pretty knackered all the time. But it was necessary because I had to build up my base of students. I had to build up my reputation. I had to build up my reviews on italki, all the time having a low rate of pay. So I only charged $10 at that point. But I needed to in order to build up my it's penetration pricing, which is in the video. I now charge a bit more, and I do less lessons. So back to your question, I like to do 5 hours maximum a day teaching, but I only do it between Friday and Sunday, a little bit on Monday morning, and then Tuesday evening for people specifically in Mexico or Brazil or Argentina on that time zone. So generally it's about 20 lessons a week. If I see that it's getting full up and more than that, I block it off. I close my availability so people can't book anymore. Because if I find if I do any more than 20, it just turns into crap, and the quality of the lessons I'm doing is rubbish. Yes, I will contact you, Solar Smile. Send me a message on Instagram or something. And definitely, yeah, I don't know if it's going to happen at the moment. It's an option. I want to go back to Asia. I miss Indonesia. I miss. I'd love to go to Sumatra. I miss Japan so much. Even though I love Mexico, there's still part of me that belongs in Asia. Definitely. I've got lots of friends in Bali, in elsewhere in not Argentina, Indonesia. Okay, but yeah, possibly Europe is going to be a thing. Um, my ultimate dream is that YouTube takes off to a point where I'm earning enough to stop teaching. That would be great. It's what was I going to say? 5,000 subscribers. So when that happens, one thing I'm going to be looking at is FameBit, so I can start doing influencer marketing. Hopefully, basically, I can have a product or something in a video, and I get paid for it, which is another way of income. But it's very difficult to get into. Is my channel the right kind of thing for that? I don't know, but it's a possible route. Okay. Yeah, Gaspar. Apologies, if I'm saying your name wrong. But yeah, a lot of people have said that the Mexico City subway is I keep saying subway. Is it metro or subway? It's metro, isn't it? It's cleaner than New York. I've never been to New York, except the airport. Matthew Tasker, you're going to New York soon, aren't you? Yes, I think you are. You can let everyone know how the New York subway is like. That's bad English, sorry. What the New York subway is like. There we go. Yeah, I've heard a lot of horror stories about New York subway, that it's disorganized, it's really complicated and really difficult to use. Mexico City Metro is amazing. You know, I did have an issue the other day. If you saw in the video, it wasn't about me, but it was a potential problem for this woman and this homeless guy, drunk guy. He might have been on crack, I don't know, but he was basically trying to rob her. But the police were there, chucked him off the train, threw him off the train, and dealt with it. Yes, Alan. Yeah, what is their job? I don't know what their job is. I think that, you know, the good thing about the royal family, or for me, I think, is that the younger generation, like William, Kate, Harry, are a lot more modern, and I think they're going against the grain, if you like. So screw the Queen and what she says. She's an idiot. Oh, treason. Off with my head. Oh, right, okay, crap. Right, what's going on? I pressed the wrong button. Okay, there's so many comments. I'm gonna die. Yes. While I read the other comments, has anyone got any other travel-related questions or anything about digital nomad life? You know, those of you watching, are any of you interested in doing this? You know, would you set up a YouTube? Has anyone got a YouTube channel? I know Matthew Tasker has. You know, so what things do you think about that, basically? Or just tell me what you're up to on this Saturday. Sunny Saturday in Mexico, as you can see behind me. Lovely. I'm addicted to these, by the way, anyone from Mexico City. The lemonade one, pineapple, the orange one, and I think it's grapefruit, the other one, I can't remember. Or strawberry, one of them. But they're lush. I can't stop drinking them. Okay. 1 second. Okay, what's everyone saying? Google Maps is super useful. Yeah, I think I said this in a video. I did one about online best travel apps. A lot of people prefer Maps Me. I hate it. Google Maps always works for me no matter where I go, except Busan, South Korea. I think there was a legitimate reason for that. So in that case, I did have to use Maps Me. But the problem is you have to remember to download it. And I know that Maps Me does go into a bit more detail in a lot of places, but I'm used to Google Maps. It's brilliant. PubTran is okay, lovely. I use one in Mexico City, just a basic CDMX subway thing. Yes. Imagine if you ever did a lesson from the air on in-flight Wi-Fi. That would be hilarious, Matthew, and I'm sure that's one thing that I could do. But I'm never, generally, I think the only flight that I've ever been on that I've had in-flight Wi-Fi is to Emirates, when I went from London to Abu Dhabi on day one. It's now day 500 and something, I don't know. Yes, Gaspar, don't worry about your English, because trust me, if you asked me to speak Spanish, it wouldn't work. Okay. Montenegro or Isle of Man. I'd love to go to Montenegro. Did I meet someone from there? I think I met someone that had travelled there. Oh, that's it. One of my students was talking about going there to move there. Gotcha. Okay. How does it feel vlogging outside? I can't handle people's gazes even when I just take photos. That is a brilliant question. I actually did a video about this when I was in Nagasaki ages ago, like over a year ago. It was really bad, but I actually got demonetized because it had Nagasaki in the title, and YouTube doesn't like anything about war or atomic bombs. You know, all my Hiroshima videos, actually they were all demonetized first of all, but then they were monetized again. Yeah, so that's something that I did struggle with doing it outside originally, but and I still do. I think. You know, places like Tokyo definitely were, and Shanghai were horrendous because it's just impossible. Because if you don't have people waving in the background or bumping into you, especially in China, they just completely oblivious and just walk into you. It's a real struggle to be when you're conscious of someone looking at you. What I do now is I try my best to just carry on, because often in videos it adds a bit of humour to it if someone's, you know, looking in the background or waving or something like that. It's a bit of a laugh, you know. And you saw him, I think it was the Zocalo Historical Centre video. There were so many people waving in the background, and to be honest, I didn't even notice, so I just carried on. But yeah, I think if you make yourself conscious of it, then it's going to be really difficult to do. Matthew Tasker, what do you think? Because you do the same. Yes. And actually, there was, you know, this is where the bloopers come from in a lot of my videos. I think the record times, it was actually in the subway video, Mexico City Metro. I filmed one bit 21 times at the beginning, one of the beginning bits, because I kept doing it wrong. Because there was people on the bench behind me, really annoying me. And once in Shanghai in front of the Bund, which was horrendous. Okay. Yeah, Busan, South Korea. How did I like it there? So I was only there for, I think, 3 days, because if you look back on my channel, I did something last year called Hell Week, which was when I went from Japan to Japan to South Korea to China to Russia to Kyrgyzstan in 7 days, basically. Largely because of flight times and prices, and the fact that and it was cheaper for me to go to certain countries than go. Again, Matthew Tasker will tell you this, that it's often cheaper to go to other countries rather than going direct. So look that up on my channel, Hell Week, and I think I did, as well as the 3 Hell Week videos, I did 4 or 5 other videos in Busan, Shanghai, etc. But anyway, back to the point. Busan. So I don't think I preferred it to Seoul, because I think Seoul there's a lot more to do. I don't like Korean food. It's awful. There was actually something I had in Busan, tteokbokki, famous Korean dish, which I hated. A lot of people are really positive about Korean food, but I'm very fussy. I don't like Korean food. What did you think about Busan? I can't really remember what I did there. It's in the video. I went to a lot of beaches with a lot of Korean locals, but I think I found Seoul a lot better. Okay. Right, we're at an hour already. I think I'm going to go soon because I have things to do. Yes. So, okay, Devon, that's an interesting point. Let's talk about this. We're completely going off topic. Travel fears has gone out the window. Never mind. So yeah, the royal family do promote UK life, but I think it's UK life and culture. But I think it's to the wider world. It's what the world believes the UK is like. Yeah, Adele, the Beatles, Harry Potter. There's my London accent. Harry Potter. The glottal stop. That is, by the way. But yeah, it really frustrates me when people think that the UK is all people speaking like this and speaking like Harry Potter and the Queen, when actually they talk like this, you know? And everyone's obsessed with the royal family. People think it's about drinking tea. I hate tea. So people's perception of, just like with Mexico, people's perception of the UK is completely different to what it actually is like. There's a lot of problems in the UK. This is one reason why I'm not there. Politics, economy, everyone's on drugs. Maybe not everyone, but most people are. And there's such a huge alcohol culture, which I hate, because I don't really drink. Okay. Bloopers. Matthew, do you have a lot of bloopers? Yes. Amazing. Yes, this thing about the amazing flights for like £2 is amazing. The legend of what do you call it? Frequent flyer, that's it. Awesome. Okay, so I think I'm going to go. Thank you for watching, everyone. Don't forget, if everyone's still watching, you 15 people, if you haven't followed my Instagram and Facebook page, do it. Share my videos, please, with your Mexican friends if you're from Mexico. That would be awesome. Lovely. Let's get to 5,000 subscribers. I don't think I'm going to do another live stream until 5,000 hits. So get sharing, everyone. Get subscribing. You've already all subscribed anyway, but get your mum to subscribe. Get everyone to subscribe. Make sure they watch the videos. Awesome. Alan, next time we'll have a conversation about Formula 1. Okay? Sounds like a plan. One of my first videos was in Abu Dhabi from when I went to the Formula 1 in 2016. I've been to Singapore twice for the Formula 1, Monaco once, and Silverstone when I was 10 years old. 1992, Nigel Mansell, Mania, with my dad. Amazing. Awesome. Thanks, Devon. New subscriber. Awesome. See you soon. Okay, and Gilead, but what... I know you like Gilead, but what airlines to North America? What do you mean? North America? Gilead? They're nowhere near each other. And once again, Matthew is being awesome. Helping out the first world travellers. Amazing. Yeah, Matthew Tasker, you'll get there. Everyone who is watching this right now, you 16 people, you have to go over to Matthew Tasker's channel and subscribe. His editing is a million times better than mine, and he's hilarious. And he's literally the plain geek. Anything to do with flying tips, anything with saving money, travelling, he's the man to go to. More than me, because I just book a flipping flight on Skyscanner and I'm done. Okay. Classic Monaco Grand Prix soon. Awesome. What sort of age cars? I'm a big fan of 80s and 90s Formula 1 particularly. So like 85 to 94 is my era. Awesome. And I did forget to ask a question. Someone mentioned about videos. Luis mentioned, when am I uploading more videos? So the next one, if you haven't already seen the trailer for it, which is at the end of the Polanco video, it's Teotihuacan, the pyramids that I went to over a week ago now. It's a massive one, so it's going to take a while to edit. I don't know when it'll be up, maybe Monday or Tuesday. I have got lessons all weekend. So while I'm doing that, I'm probably going to do a couple of sit-down videos next week, and the Teotihuacan one. Tuesday, I'm going up the volcano, the one beginning with I, so that's a whole day that I'm out. Yeah, and I'm also trying to have a life. So I'm going to do a couple of those sit-down videos next week, I think, and Teotihuacan, so look forward to them. Awesome. Okay. Oh, Cynthia, you're back, and I'm just about to leave. I need to get some food. I got a pizza yesterday, and there's like one slice left, but I can't even look at it. Okay. Ta-ta for now. Okay, I'm going to go. Thanks for joining, everyone. I'll see you all when we get to 5,000 subscribers. Okay? Lovely. Now I just have to remember how to end this. Have a good weekend, everyone. Catch you later. Oh, how does it stop? Oh, there we go.